Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Joe Ignace. I am the owner and founder of the Knowledge Gap podcast and consulting services. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about the four fears that hold every single business owner, salesperson, realtor, and entrepreneur back from reaching their goals and growing their business. And I'm going to teach you the psychology behind overcoming fears and give you a really good strategy at the end of this. Let's get started. All right, so today we're talking about fear, probably your favorite subject ever. We all love doing things that scare us. Kind of, not really. We all hate doing things that scare us. And unfortunately, fear is a daily part of everyone's life, and it's really normal. And we need to overcome fear if you want to grow your business. So in order to really buy into this episode, you have to believe that your business growth is determined by you and nobody else. It's not your market. It's not your competitors. It's not what's happening. It's always you. You are the common denominator in your success in life and in business. And so we're going to talk about your personal fears, right? And then this can, go into more of like people's fears in your group. And this translates to everyone. If you can conquer your fear, you can teach other people to conquer their fear as well. So there's just a certain amount of things in business that we react to kind of like this.
Do this. It's gotta be the one. I gotta do this. It's gotta be me. It's gotta be. Are you ready? Yeah. Sorry.
We just gotta panic like Tommy Boy. And there's parts of business, like maybe it's sales, maybe it's recruiting, maybe it's interviewing, whatever it could possibly be. There are parts of business that we are terrified to do because we're really afraid of failing. Kind of like this.
We don't take no for an answer. We don't take no for an answer.
No.
Okie dokie.
No.
Gotcha. Thanks. Terrific. Thanks for your time.
We hate when these things happen to us. We hate watching them happen to others. They're super awkward. We feel terrible, and we don't like them happening to us. But these are crucial things in business if you want to grow your business. Here's the top 4 fears that I believe hold back business owners from being successful. Comment below with your favorite fear and maybe a fear that you wish was on this list. Number 1, the fear of failure. Who doesn't have the fear of failure? Everybody is afraid to fail. Why are we afraid to fail? Well, we don't want to feel like we're not good enough. It's a personal thing. We hate feeling inferior to others. We all have this sort of thing in our brains called the comparison trap, where we compare our situation to others. And if ours isn't as good, we think we are no longer qualified. This is nonsense. Every single person has limitless potential, talents, and skills that the world needs. That means that you are important. So quit worrying about failing. And in fact, the only way to learn and grow is through failure. So you have to see every single moment of failure as an opportunity to get feedback to grow your business. We do this all the time. If we have a client that were to cancel in our company, or we had a recruit who quit my team, I would always go ask them why they quit. And it was the best information. They were so honest with what was wrong with me or my business or my leadership style. And from that, I could change, grow the business. And actually, because we improved the process of the service, we could even raise our price because we were doing a better job. So I see every single bad thing that happens is a good thing, and you need to start thinking that too. Number 2, we all have a fear of rejection, right? We're worried about going in there to one of those sales meetings and getting a no. What you've got to realize is that it's all a process. You're supposed to get no's. There are people who are not going to work with you, and you have to overcome this fear. If you don't overcome this fear, you will never want to go out and cold call or do sales, especially at the beginning of your business. It's really uncomfortable to share new ideas with people. They don't get it. You explain it poorly. But the only way to get through it is through action, from actually going out there and getting rejected. Once you've been rejected enough, it no longer hurts. Rejection, when you first start handling rejection, it feels like you're getting stabbed. It is stored in your brain as an actual painful thing. And I know that gets you so excited to want to go get rejected, but I promise it gets easier as you get more mentally tough. Fear number 3 is fear of the unknown, right? We all have this what if list, this worst case scenario in our brain that may happen, but probably won't, but it prevents us from acting, right? And so this fear of the unknown, you have to tackle by gathering more information, learning more about the situation, and doing all of your homework and research. Actually, if you spend enough time learning about how to do what you're trying to do, it's probably not that unknown. And there are people out there who have done it before. And if you want to get over that fear, just go talk to some people who have been in your shoes before. Fear number 4 is the fear of success. This is a really interesting one, but it's a limiting one. And it's probably one that you wouldn't put on your list. And comment below what you think about it. But a lot of people are afraid to be more successful. Being more successful means that you have to change, you have to grow, and you have to let go of some old bad habits that you might be clinging on to. This is one of the fears that most people wouldn't readily admit. And most people aren't even self-aware enough to understand that this is a fear that they have. So if you're afraid of being successful, what you have to do is realize that people need your help, and therefore you should go that extra mile and grow in the direction that you're capable of. And don't worry about what you're going to have to change. It's necessary, it's valuable, and you're going to help more people because of it. So don't be afraid of change. Every single person hates change on the front end. They hate this idea of having to improve or change their habits, and it's difficult and hard. But on the back end, after you change your habits, you always feel good. All right, so those are 4 main fears that I think hold people back in sales, recruiting, running a business, and all these different things, because in business, these relate to this next list of business applications. Number 1, if you're creating a product and you're afraid it's not going to go well, right? You're not going to go to market well. The service isn't going to be good. Well, guess what? If you actually do something about it, go interview people, interview your target market, ask for what features you need, you can actually figure out what product or service your people want. And that way you don't have to be afraid of it anymore. You can have assuredness, or you can have confidence in going to the market with it. If you don't conquer the fear, you're just going to keep procrastinating, coming out with new ideas and services, and you're going to then become like Kodak, and you're going to be afraid to adopt the digital camera. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to our episode in the description about why businesses fail. But basically, Kodak, they were dominating in film, and they had these old-timey Polaroid cameras, and they were crushing it, and they were making tons of money. And one of their employees came up with the digital camera, but they were afraid to sell the digital camera because they thought that they would lose film sales. They were afraid to put in all the extra work and change what would happen. So they buried the idea for 10 years, hindering the growth of the industry. And then another person outside the company came up with digital cameras, and then they went out of business, right? So that's how that works with fear. Another couple here: fear of not getting sales, fear of recruiting people because you're not a good leader, fear of recruiting assistants or different positions because you're not organized. All of these fears will limit the growth of your business because you're not willing to change. If you want to grow your business, you have to change. If you want to change, you almost always have to face fears, because the reason you hadn't changed in that direction is because it's unknown, because you're afraid of being rejected, you're afraid of failing, or you're afraid of success because it means you have to let go of some bad things that you're holding on to. Okay, so we know that fear affects your business. Now, how do you overcome fear? Well, I believe that you can overcome fear through educating yourself and then taking action. It's very simple. So did you know that you're born with only 2 fears, which means every other fear is learned? The 2 fears that you are born with, if you're wondering, is the fear of loud noises and the fear of falling. So funny, because we have roller coasters to overcome that. We love overcoming that. It's a thrill when we overcome the fear of falling, or, concerts, super loud noises, right? But we love it, right? So the other side of fear is sometimes the best things in life. So there's 2 innate fears. Everything else is learned, which means if you can learn something, you can forget something. If you don't use it, you lose it. You probably heard that all the time. So all of these fears, the fear of the unknown, rejection, the fear of failure, the fear of public speaking, the fear of etc., insert whatever you want, can be unlearned. And a lot of them should be unlearned. The only fears that really you should have is the fear of falling off a cliff, death, maybe, getting eaten by a snake or something, right? Everything else, these social fears, they're just holding back and limiting the growth of your business. It's easy to see that logically, much harder to face the emotions that come with it. But I promise you, action cures fear. And when the worst case scenario happens to you, when your worst fear actually happens, you're going to realize that you're still alive. You're on the other side. And although it happened, it can't get any worse. If it can't get any worse, it can only get better. And you just got to train your mind to attack fear and see fear as a challenge. If this was helpful, guys, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And there's going to be a ton more videos like this. I invite you to join the Lion Chasers book club that's coming out soon. There's going to be a link in the description. Fill out an interest form. There's going to be a link to the Facebook group. We're building a networking book club to help you with accountability to read good books every single month so you can grow as a person and grow your business. And there's going to be a free workshop that I run every single month. I personally invite you to that. Before you go, just a quick message from our sponsors. This video is sponsored by Campus Cuts by Monica. She is a local, incredible hairstylist near the University of Tennessee. And if you're a guy at the University of Tennessee and you want to look incredible, you need to go to Campus Cuts by Monica on Cumberland Avenue. You can check her out and follow her on Instagram at Campus Cuts by Monica on Instagram. So go follow her on Instagram, and the next haircut, go down there and check it out. So guys, that's what we have today. We really appreciate you watching, listening to the video. If there's anything you need, please comment below. I'm here to help you guys. Until next time, stay purpose driven.